Also gut. Ich muss erstmal hier aus dem roten Bereich weg. Dann bitte große Schamanin, begleitet Citlali wegen der Untersuchung. Schön und gut, aber ich will erst... Verdammt nochmal. Wir können nicht wieder rein. Und ich wollte mir eigentlich die Bücher noch ansehen. Schade, ich wollte mir jetzt unbedingt mal die Bücher ansehen, die da noch sind. Aber vielleicht später. Wenn die Mission erstmal abgeschlossen ist. Kann ja sein.
You don't seem super invested in this whole thing, Citlali.
The Battle of Seven Colors is something I've only ever heard about. I know as much as anyone else in my tribe.
But how? Weren't you alive when it happened?
I wasn't there when it took place, and she never told me about it. That's how.
But Molo-san said the two of you were close friends. The battle was legendary. Why wouldn't Huitzilin tell you about it?
Close friends? More like arch rivals. Something Montlusan would know if he actually did his research. Did you see the graffiti outside my house? That's not my doing. All students from Huitzilin School of Shamanism must pass an extremely difficult trial before graduation, defeating me in battle. Those graffiti drawings are how they challenge me.
Warte, wie bitte?
Of course, none of them ever succeeded. So, after Huitzilin's death, her students had no choice but to modify the requirement. Instead of defeating me, all they have to do now is last long enough.
Ja, das klingt nach einer notwendigen Anpassung.
As my rival, Huitzilin only had one achievement that surpassed my own. And that was the Battle of Seven Colors. I can only assume she had some kind of secret technique at her disposal. It makes perfect sense that she kept it from me. I'm a fast learner. Telling me about the technique is no different than handing it to me on a silver platter. As if she would give away her one advantage.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, all of that is secondary. Like I said, I'm only here to help you fulfill your duty.
Also macht Citlali das alles nur für mich?
Don't misunderstand. This duty is important for my tribe, too. A great shaman should do her part to see it done.
Naja, eine große Schamanin könnte sich auch mal ein bisschen mehr um ihre Wohnung kümmern.
Excuse you? I fail to see what housekeeping has to do with my duty as a shaman.
Punkt.
Why is it that you're the one whose thoughts are exposed, but I'm still the one suffering? I need to get to the bottom of this.
Wir sind dann halt seelenverwandt.
Excuse me, great shaman, but we have a situation over here. We could really use your help.
Bitte, große Schamanin.
Okay.
Of course the Battle of Seven Colors happened. The woven scroll proves it. Huitzilin used a mysterious color to construct a maze and trap the enemies inside.
That's just your interpretation. There's more than one way to understand that scroll. Besides, constructing a maze out of color is ridiculous.
Huitzilin was one of the most powerful shamans of her time. She definitely could have pulled it off.
That's the biggest problem. She had students. Why not pass it down? A technique that powerful, and no shaman since has ever used it?
Her students are keeping it a secret, of course. If you knew a technique like that, you'd be a fool to show it to just anyone.
Oh, I didn't mean to cause an argument. I just wanted to ask, is there anything we can use to prove the battle took place?
Of course it took place. Why would you need to prove it?
You'll have to excuse him. Some people in our tribe insist on clinging to outdated views of history. I'd give up now if I were you. It only gets more ridiculous from here.
Please don't fight.
Wow, so the battle really is controversial.
Am I the outdated one? Kids these days can't find anything better to argue about?
These arguments are precisely why I hesitate to include this story in my collection. Neither side was able to offer anything useful. What should we do?
Huitzilin was a passionate teacher. We were opposites in that sense. The technique she used in the battle must have been her masterpiece. There's every reason to pass it on. Still, if the technique is powerful enough to single-handedly stop an invasion, it also makes sense that her disciples would keep it a secret. We should check with the students from her school. If we can confirm the technique exists, we can deduce certain things about the battle.
But as far as I know, most of the shamans from her school occupy high positions in the tribe. Not the type of people outsiders like us can speak to on a whim.
Right. The obsidian altar is off limits to you. But, if I go...
Is there a problem?
Most of Huitzilin's students are respected priests in the tribe. But that means they had to go through me. Or try, at least. I, of course, humiliated them from a young age. Those who hold the position now are the ones who lasted long enough before I wiped the floor with them. If I show up without warning, they'll run for dear life. That's not gonna get us any answers.
Yeah, Paimon can see it now.
Um ihr Leben rennen? Klingt, als wäre Citlali eine Tyrannin.
Hey, don't jump to conclusions. That was just a metaphor.
Ich sorge schon dafür, dass wir nicht weglaufen.
Only you have the guts to joke like that with me, traveler. Fine, I said I'd help, so I'll help. But don't blame me if it goes wrong.
Alright, the rest of you can wait for us here.
We appreciate the help.
Also gut, dann mal auf zum Obsidianaltar. Ein einfacher Teleport würde natürlich jetzt... Na, wisst ihr was? Ein einfacher Teleport von Ort zu Ort ist schon in Ordnung. Da muss ich jetzt nicht großartig überlegen, wo der Weg war.
Oh, are you in the middle of a ceremony?
Granny Eatsley?
What is she doing here?
Did some coward not show up after challenging her to a fight?
Or is she here to officially take over the tribe?
Whoa. It's like they really do see her as some kind of tyrant.
No matter what, we'll defend our dignity as priests to the end.
Ugh, you talk a big game for someone who lost to me the most out of the entire priesthood.
What?
All I want is to ask some questions.
So, you're here to interrogate us?
Someone didn't sit pretty for their beating? Is that it? You want their name, don't you?
We should just run!
Keine Angst!
Yeah, with the hero of Natlan here, Granny Eatsley will be on her best behavior.
Sure, whatever you say.
Oh, it's the Traveler and his companion. That does make me feel better. How can we help you?
We wanted to ask about the technique you inherited from Huitzilin.
Huh. So you can eradicate our school once and for all?
Disciples of our school have challenged her year after year, just as our master instructed. Sounds like she's finally had enough.
Well, you're not wrong.
If we want to protect our legacy, one of us needs to run.
Not this again. Just how much did you traumatize them, Citlali?
Sie hat sie in einem Duell geschlagen. Na und? Kein Grund, so verängstigt zu sein. Citlali ist jemand, die Respekt und Zuneigung verdient. Das mache ich doch jetzt wirklich mit Absicht.
Hey! You can't just say whatever you want just because it's in your head. I'm Granny Eatsley. A mere mention of my name and kids burst into tears. Love and respect? No one has the guts for that.
Also, ich habe den Mut dazu.
You know what? Forget about your duty. We really need to fix this mind-reading situation.
Sorry to disappoint, but if you're here to question whether we're qualified to inherit our master's legacy, we're not going down without a fight.
We're not getting anywhere. What should we do, Traveler?
Lass mich nachdenken. Ah, Ältester. Wie geht's, wie steht's? Wir haben uns ja schon lange nicht mehr gesehen. Ein paar Wochen.
Huh? Oh, it's you.
Elder Tlapo! Oh, we must have disturbed your meditation. Our deepest apologies. Please forgive us.
Hallo, wir sind's. Ja, wir sind's.
Did Elder Tlapo just issue a declaration?
From what I can tell, in a single word, the message was... friend?
Is Elder Tlapo telling us to treat Granny Eatsley as a friend?
Ja, genau das hat er gesagt. Auch wenn er eigentlich uns damit meinte. Ja, ihr habt recht mit eurer Annahme. Also macht es auch.
That's not possible, is it?
Oh, you forget yourselves, my friends. You are esteemed priests of our tribe. Where are your manners?
But Chief!
I didn't expect to see you here, great shaman. My sincere apologies for the lack of hospitality.
Well, I wasn't exactly planning to come to this crowded place. So you can save the pleasantries, Chief. I'd rather get this over with.
Understood. Now, as successors of Huitzilin, I understand your friction with Granny Eatsley. However, Elder Tlapo's declarations have always showed us the correct path. You would do well to respect his counsel. So, mind your manners and allow Granny Eatsley to ask her questions.
Good thing Elder Tlapo and Chief Biram are on our side.
Also gut, fangen wir mal an mit der Befragung. Ältester Tlapo, erleuchte uns.
Hi there, Elder Tlapo.
Lange nicht gesehen. Ja, auch nett, dich zu sehen.
He seems pretty happy to see us.
He's the one who put you in charge of the scroll, right?
Yeah, Elder Tlapo appointed us to the task.
Elder Tlapo, huh? He's still claw to me.
Oh, mag sie.
Hey, don't pull that cutesy stuff with me. You're an Iktomi-Sor elder now. You occupy an eminent and important position within the tribe.
So, you already know each other?
Claw was only this big when we first met. He was Huitzilin's Saurian companion back then. She kept dragging him to my place, so over time we got to know each other.
Klingt, als wärt du und Huitzilin gut befreundet gewesen.
She only came to my place to fight me. But at the same time, she always claimed to be my friend. She was the only one who dared to try, at least.
Well, you've lived a long time. You've probably made a bunch of friends over the years, right?
The more time you have, the more friends you lose.
Oh,
Anyway, let's get back to business. I hate talking about the past. Oh, 200 years and you still haven't given up, Claw? I still haven't made up my mind, so you should head back. Traveler, Paimon, let's go.
Ah, ich verstehe. Er will Citlali als als Kameradin haben. Also, besser gesagt, will er, dass Citlali ihn als ihren Sauriergefährten anerkennt. Davon gehe ich jetzt aus. Und ich muss eigentlich wirklich sagen, die Iktomi-Saurier sind irgendwie wirklich meine Lieblingssaurier aus Natlan. Andere Frage jetzt erstmal, wo ist der Häuptling? Ach, da meditiert er wieder.
Hey there, Chief Biram.
Hallo Biram, bist du wach oder schläfst du? Mit der Maske kann man das schlecht sehen.
Oh, wait. We haven't reached out since the last time we failed the task, huh?
I'm just grateful you haven't forgotten that duty.
Actually, we have good news. We found another clue.
I'm all ears.
It's the Battle of Seven Colors.
Huitzilin's claim to fame? That sounds promising. But the battle took place hundreds of years ago. An investigation is bound to be difficult.
True, but Granny Eatsley promised to help.
Is that so? Huh. I've tried seeking her help in the past, but I never managed to coax her out. You should cherish this opportunity.
Hey, don't complain. None of the previous chiefs succeeded either.
Forgive me. That wasn't my intention. It was a comment on my own failings.
Paimon said you've been trying to figure out how to weave the special scroll.
It is my duty, great shaman.
Why bother? The scrolls always end up completed on time. So what's the point of figuring it out for yourself?
If I may, this task concerns the history of Natlan as a whole. And in many ways, history is the memory of a people. Memory is sacred to our tribe. I'm sure a great shaman understands that better than a humble junior like myself. Something this important cannot be left to baseless rumors. I know you don't concern yourself with the daily affairs of the tribe, Granny Eatsley. Even so, as a priestess, I trust you wouldn't leave something like that to chance.
I get your point.
Hast du was auf dem Herzen, Citlali?
Of course, the one time I wish you could read my mind, it doesn't work.
Also, der Häuptling nannte sich selbst einfacher Junior. Vielleicht macht Citlali sich Sorgen, dass sie alt wirkt?
No, that's not it.
Huh?
It's not important. Rest assured, Biram, with my help, the Traveler and Paimon will definitely be able to complete the task.
You have my thanks then.
Hauptsache, wir müssen jetzt beim besten Willen nicht irgendeine Farbe wieder suchen.
So are you here to test whether we're qualified to inherit Master Huitzilins' legacy?
Nein.
You've already been tested, haven't you? Well, frankly speaking, I don't think any of you are qualified. But that's not why I'm here. All you need to do is be good and answer my questions.
Fine. Ask away.
You've heard of the Battle of Seven Colors, right?
Of course. It's our master's claim to fame. An immortal legend inscribed in the very history of our tribe.
Then I'm sure you know there are those who question whether it actually occurred.
I did hear people arguing about that the other day.
It's disgraceful. How can they question something like that?
It doesn't surprise me. Natlan has had more tourism lately. A lot of people have started getting strange ideas after interacting with Outlanders. After all, everyone who took part in the battle has returned to the ley lines. Without witnesses, it's hard to refute detractors.
Well, it just so happens the questions I want to ask are directly related to the legitimacy of this battle.
Listen, we know you were rivals, but do you really have to question her legacy?
You think she's like you? Someone who can't survive a little scrutiny?
No, of course not.
Then let me finish. During the battle, Huitzilin most likely used a technique powerful enough to turn the tides of war. I'm sure she was very proud of it. Proud enough to pass it on to her disciples. So, which one of you inherited that technique?
Tja, die Befragung dauert an. Aber höchstwahrscheinlich keiner von denen.
I don't think any of us have heard of it.
Listen, I'm not trying to take it for myself, so be honest. With or without it, I can wipe the floor with any of you.
Yeah, no objections there. But I'm telling the truth. None of us have ever heard of that technique.
What's wrong with her? Why would she let it go extinct?
Master's body of work is massive. No one student could hope to learn all her techniques. Mastering just a few already takes a lot of effort. Master had no choice but to recruit many students, split up what she knew into different portions, and pass it down through various individuals. So even though we see ourselves as representatives of Huitzilin's school of shamanism, what we know isn't the sum of her legacy. Actually, I know of a shaman family that inherited some of Master's techniques. The family fell on hard times and lost the right to the priesthood. Still could be worth a shot.
But if they inherited Huitzilin's secret technique, shouldn't the family be thriving?
Well, it's the only thing I can think of.
All right, give me their address.
I'll mark it out on your map.
To be honest, I'm not optimistic about the future of this investigation.
Aber du gibst dir trotzdem große Mühe.
That's because the request came from you. You don't know the power of your own words, do you?
Offensichtlich eine große Menge. So, triff dich mit Montluson und den anderen. Ihr berichtet Montluson und den anderen alles, was ihr herausgefunden habt.
Proving the legitimacy of this battle seems more hopeless by the second.
Nothing we can do about that.
Well, even if our investigation ultimately proves the legend to be false, that's still a worthwhile result. Although I'm here for business purposes, I have a personal interest in this as well. I'm drawn to matters of historical truth.
That's exactly why I chose to follow you, Monsieur Montluson.
Listen, I'm just updating you on the situation, not asking for your opinion. I don't really care whether you continue your investigation. And Traveler, you came to me for help with your scroll weaving duty, right? You thought looking into the Battle of Seven Colors could give you answers. That's understandable. But based on our progress, I'd say this is a dead end. Instead of wasting time, you might consider taking a different approach. I'll try to think of another way to help you.
Respected traveler, let's not forget about the compensation I promised. You shall have it in full. Extra, if that's what it takes.
Also ich glaube, diese Untersuchung könnte auch dir helfen, Citlali.
What makes you say that?
Weil sie mit Huitzilins Vergangenheit zu tun hat.
Yeah, based on what you've told us so far, it kinda seems like there's unresolved tension between you two.
You think so?
She claimed to be your friend, but picked fights with you non-stop, and never told you about her biggest accomplishment. By figuring out the truth behind the battle, maybe we can finally help you get closure.
Closure? I'd say we're 200 years too late. But fine, if you want to keep investigating, be my guest.
Ah, that's wonderful news.
Alright,
Also gut, finde ein Mitglied der Schamanenfamilie. Anscheinend ist es gleich hier um die Ecke. Das ging schnell.
Hello, are you Asian man?
Yep, that's me. Huh? Granny Eatsley?
Get up! In a crowded market like this, the only person who should be trying to hide is me.
My apologies. Ever since my grandfather's generation, the shamans of my family have given up on passing your trial, Granny Eatsley. Have we offended you in some other capacity?
Man, this is generational trauma at this point.
Whenever I misbehaved as a kid, Grandpa would tell me about the thrashing he received from Granny Eatsley. I still get nightmares about it sometimes.
Ich frage mich, wie Citlali in diesen Albträumen wohl aussieht.
Hey, don't get any funny ideas. This was your idea, remember? Keep asking your questions. I'm going to find somewhere quiet to wait.
Okay, so your family studied under Huitzilin, right?
Yes, although that pretty much ended with my grandfather's generation, unfortunately. The techniques my family learned from Huitzilin didn't have much practical use in terms of tribal affairs, so during my grandfather's time, we quit the priesthood. Turns out, shaman techniques aren't that useful outside the priesthood either. So over time, we abandoned them altogether. Of course, it's possible that we were just too foolish to understand the true power of those teachings. After all, Huitzilin was a genius. None of her students have been able to fully reproduce her talent.
Do you know which techniques were passed on to your family?
I'm not sure. As a kid, I remember hearing my grandfather talk about them, but it's not like I can use them myself.
Just think about it for a sec. Do you remember anything about a technique that can decide the outcome of a battle?
Decide the outcome of a battle? No, I don't remember anything like that. Besides, my family wasn't really known for our talent. If a technique like that exists, I doubt Huitzilin would pass it on to us. You might have better luck asking one of the priests. They're descendants of Huitzilin's most gifted students.
Well, looks like we're back where we started.
Still no definitive evidence the Battle of Seven Colors took place. Alier, do you think we have enough to draw a conclusion?
All we have are non-witness accounts. We could put together an interview, but that's not going to hold up in academic circles.
Then we have to keep going.
Oh, you're investigating the Battle of Seven Colors?
Yeah, you know about it?
Not a lot, but there's something special about my family. In addition to shaman techniques, Huitzilin's stories were passed down to us as well. Say what you want about my ancestors' dedication to shamanism, but they definitely paid attention to those stories. And of course, the Battle of Seven Colors is the most exciting story of them all.
We don't need another story. We need something concrete. Does no one in your tribe understand that?
I'm not sure if this is helpful, but the story passed down in my family is a little different from the one told in the tribe.
Really?
Inwiefern?
Well, it's Huitzilin's personal account of the event, so it's a lot more detailed. For example, in the version I heard, the battle took place in a location known as Chico Mostuk Cave.
That means you can tell us where to find it. Have you ever been to this place?
Unfortunately not.
I studied maps of Natland before we left, Monsieur Montluçon. I don't remember ever seeing such a name.
Could your ancestors be mistaken, Mr. Eshemin?
It's unlikely. My family may have let the shamanism side of things fall by the wayside, but we're serious about these stories. In the words of my grandfather, some things deserve to be passed down more than secret arts.
If Huitzilin's version of events differs so much from the general understanding, that makes it even more likely the battle is completely made up.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Oh, hold on. You mentioned the Chico Mostek cave?
Oh, yes? Can I clear something up for you?
It's been more than 200 years. Huh. I never thought I'd hear that name again.
What do you mean?
Okay, ich gehe mal kurz aufs Klo.
That location
Oder
is
nicht.
now known as the Valley of Fog. The Chico Mostek cave is what it was called 200 years ago.
Precisely when Huitzilin was alive. That means, Monsieur Montluçon, we can confirm the original site of the battle. Once we get there, the evidence we need should be at our fingertips.
Just when we thought all hope was lost. I never doubted you, great shaman. Allow me to present you with a gift as thanks.
Save it. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me.
Ach, du hast es dir verdient.
Wait, Mr. Montluçon works in publishing. You're a huge fan of light novels, right, Citlali? Maybe he could get you some that are out of print.
Really?
Out of print, huh? Sure. Do you have any in mind?
Well, if we're talking collectibles, then the first edition of Shogun Almighty Reborn as Raiden with Unlimited Power is a must. It's the first major hit of the isekai genre. Several editions have gone to print, but copies of the first edition are exceedingly rare and valuable.
I see.
There's also its sister work, Pretty Please Kitsune Guji. It was Yae Publishing House's attempt at gauging the new market trends. It's opened the door to a new genre after readers grew tired of isekais. The sales speak for themselves. Actually, Yae Publishing House released a limited edition not too long ago, but it's almost impossible to get. Anyway, I'll take those two.
Sorry, I'm not sure I caught all that. What were the titles again? Reborn as Kitsune Guji?
These two titles are among the most successful and well-known works in the entire industry. You're telling me, as someone who works in publishing, you've never heard of them?
I'm a merchant from Fontaine, after all. Regarding this particular genre from Inazuma, I'm afraid I lack your level of expertise.
Ach, sicherlich bei unserem nächsten Besuch in Inazuma können wir da was mitbringen. Wir sind ja auch dicke mit der Ja Miko. Hm?
Amateur.
Überlass die Bücher einfach mir.
Of course. Sounds like a perfect arrangement. Now, there's no time to waste. We should head to the site of the battle right away.
Once we get there, it'll take a bit more work to determine the actual location. Right now, all we have is a general idea.
Well, I'm sure Miss Citlali can help us with that.
Have you even looked at the time? It's already evening, and I have important plans tonight. You expect me to work through the night?
Well, what do you think, Traveler?
Naja, lass uns für heute Schluss machen und uns morgen wieder treffen.
Okay, we'll find a place to rest for the night. When should we meet tomorrow?
He's persistent, huh?
Citlali, was meinst du?
How about noon?
Do we have to wait that long?
Great shamans have important matters to attend to in the morning.
Schlafen, lesen, frühstücken. Ich vermute, sie will einfach nur ausschlafen.
That's only because I have important tasks to complete at night.
Ist unwitzig.
All right, as Miss Citlali instructed. Let's meet back up tomorrow at noon. We'll be waiting at the exit of the tribal settlement.
Es wäre eigentlich wirklich schon interessant zu wissen, ob wir diese Bücher überhaupt besorgen können.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, is Granny Huitzilin satisfied with my answer?
Yeah, of course. You really helped us out.
Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't offend her somehow.
You're really that scared of her?
Sie ist eigentlich echt nett.
To be honest, Granny Huitzilin almost never interacts with ordinary tribespeople like us. Everything we know about her comes from rumors. She's a powerful shaman who's lived for over 200 years. As a great hero, you're probably the only one who isn't intimidated by her.
Well, thanks for today, Citlali.
Wollen wir etwas essen gehen? Die Einladung geht auf mich.
That's quite considerate of you. All right, let's grab a few drinks. Just like last time.
Ich glaube, ich bestelle für dich lieber alkoholfreie Getränke.
Wait, didn't you say you had important plans tonight?
What did you think I meant?
Does that mean you've gone drinking every night for the past 200 years? Now Paimon's worried about your health.
Am gleichen Ort?
No, I've had enough socializing for one day. I know somewhere quiet. We can just buy some drinks and head over.